Let's go. What's poppin', people? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy, with me, your host, Jan. I do hope you're doing well, mate. Really do hope that. And welcome back to Chelsea news / match preview. Of course, it's the big one at the weekend. Away at the Etihad, Manchester City in the Premier League for the Chelsea. We're going to preview that game a little bit, build a lineup, but there's lots to talk about in the meantime. Most notably, Alejandro Garnacho, because he did play for Man United last night in their win against Rangers. Looked okay in the Europa League, of course. I want to look at some of his stats, because it does look like Chelsea are seriously about to bid on him, and we can speak about that a little bit as well. And there's some other news bits to get into, guys. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me here today. Most appreciated. If you want to support the content, it's easy. Just like and subscribe. For those of you who are interested, the merch store is now live. We got some Goat Gang bits up there. I'll put them underneath the video, but some more stuff's going up on the store. Football Therapy logo stuff. We've been speaking to you guys on social media. I want to get like hoodies and tees with the lyric, you know, you ain't so tough with that bad boy talk.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living.
Etc. Which would be fun. All right, let's get into it. Transition, please. Thank you. Right. Quickly, Lou Class on X has confirmed Chelsea have appointed Daniel McEwan. He's the new director of partnerships. Speaking of partnerships, we ain't got a sponsor. We ain't got a main shirt sponsor. So we could really do with a new director of partnerships. He joins from the McLaren F1 team. He's officially taken up the role this month. A little bit of more housework on transfer news. Lazio remain confident to get the Cesare Casadei deal done for just over £10 million sterling. No, not adding the player sterling, although I'd probably sell him for 10 million at the moment. Plus a 20% sell-on clause. Negotiations at final stages with Chelsea. That's interesting. So Chelsea will be making a loss, I think, on the sale, but the 5th sell-on clause is significant if he becomes a good player for Lazio. And they have to sell him to an even bigger team, say like a whoever, and he goes for 50 million or something, and you know, then you get your 12.5 million on top, and suddenly you've made a profit on the player. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it looks like Cesare Casadei wants to go and play football in Italy, and like I said, he's got loads and loads of suitors out there, although not loads that want to pay serious amounts of money. All right, so let's talk about it. Garnacho. It's been confirmed that Chelsea have made an approach. We're going to make a bid. It's been reported from Argentinian media. It's been reported from Fabrizio Romano. Chelsea are preparing a bid for the player. Of course, I think Napoli offered £35 million, which was just waved away by Man United. And since, of course, they've turned to Karim Adeyemi from Dortmund, Chelsea will pay more money than that. But what would you say Garnacho is worth? He's only recently turned 20. He's very young. He's in his third year of being a Premier League regular-ish. Is it second or third year? I think third. Certainly second of being a regular, third of just general experience, I think, maybe. It's very tough, isn't it? Because Sancho was very poor at Man United, and we were all happy to sign him, and he's looked pretty good at Chelsea, but he cost 25 million quid. And I know he's a Chelsea fan, it means something to me. Garnacho, what would you pay for Garnacho? I'll tell you what, before we get into that, let's look at some stats, shall we? Here we go. So this is understat. This is his Premier League time compared to Mykhailo Mudryk. If you look at this graph on the right here, yeah? The green is Garnacho. The blue is Mudryk. Now, Garnacho is like 4 years younger than Mudryk. Let me just quickly see how old Mudryk is. He's at least 23, Mudryk. He's 24. Okay, so he's 4 years younger than Mudryk, Garnacho. And which means like lots of... Because I kind of feel like Mudryk, can't say, oh, he's a young player. We'll see. Garnacho, I feel like has got obvious massive scope for improvement. He's, you know, and obviously, look, what's he stronger at Mudryk here? A lot of stuff. He's stronger at goals per 90, expected goals per 90 significantly stronger. Takes way more shots than Mudryk in a game, which is what we need. You know, one of the criticisms of Sancho from Maresca is he just doesn't take shots. His assist per 90 is the same as Mudryk. His expected assists is less, which shows you Man United have got crap finishes. It looks pretty good. I also want to show you his X value page here. So Alejandro Garnacho, he's a one-to-one explorer, which is what Maresca likes in his wingers. He's left-sided, of course, he would represent kind of a Mudryk replacement. Not good at passes, apparently, or aerials, which is fine. Recoveries, pretty strong, which actually is what you need to be a good wing in the Premier League. You've got to work hard, get back. That's what we were worried about with the likes of Mudryk, not tracking back and working hard. Seemingly, Garnacho does that, and he's pretty strong at assisting, very strong at carries, so dribbling, and very strong at shooting. When you look at it statistically and stop looking at him through the failed lens of Man United, let's look at this. This is the current season. I just want to look at the previous season. Yeah, similar stuff. Less recoveries under Ten Hag, but the body of work now was a 20-year-old, the last half season. Let's look at that. So advanced stats as well is worth having a look at. Per 90, his strengths are, non-penalty XG is through the roof, and carries. So dribbling and shooting and getting goal-scoring chances, which is really what Maresca wants from his wingers. Bearing in mind, he's a child still. He's 20 years old. He's been around for a while, but we sort of think of him as like an established player, but there's so much scope. He's younger than all, apart from Tyreek George, he's younger than all our wingers. But he's probably got more Prem experience than most of our wingers. I don't know, was he around before Sancho was playing? I don't know. Expected goals is high, non-penalty XG high. His chance creation isn't very strong, although his expected offensive value added, which is here on the left-hand side, is strong. And in progression, expected... Oh, can you see it there? Expected threats from carries is very, very strong. So, look, clearly there's stuff there. You know, there's, like, raw materials there, and more so than Mudryk. We obviously brought Mudryk to the Prem, like, the raw materials are through the roof. But in practice, it's been tough. And look, it's kind of moot point, because I think this is preparation for Mudryk getting a ban, even if it's only reduced to, like, 18 months or something. This is what I think. Look, this is what I think of Garnacho. I would never in a million years target Garnacho like, yeah, this is what we need, guys, yeah? Ever, looking at the Chelsea team. But I kind of understand, through the lens of a few elements, why Chelsea are looking at this as opportunists. They don't want to be bent over, right, for transfers. Like, we need this, we're going to go in and pay all the money, like perhaps Chelsea used to. They're going to look at the market and look at opportunities. So the opportunity is here to get a replacement for a potentially banned Mudryk, yeah? And Man United are screwed financially. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with this, but they're really in danger of not, abiding by financial rules. Garnacho is such a sellable asset for them that makes them pure profit. To the point where I think they really need to sell him to rebuild under Amorim or, give him what he needs. So with that, they probably like a year ago thought, wow, he's going to be wicked. £70 million if we're going to sell him. But I wonder if because they really want to sell him and they need the money, that is £50 million. Now, a lot of Chelsea fans are like, £40 million player. Fine. But 50 million is still 12 million cheaper than Mudryk, who, like we've said, has been a bit of a failed experiment, despite how talented he is. And he's 4 years older than Garnacho, so his value's less. I know Mudryk's appeal, he was kind of like a Ukrainian icon, is a Ukrainian icon. And, Garnacho's just a young Argentinian player in a sea of talent. If we sign him, yeah, fine. I'm going to back him. It's not like, again, I said before, I think in a previous video, it's not like we're spending £80 million like Man United did on Højlund when we need an experienced striker, goal scorer. I'd be like, I'd be hitting my head against a wall if we were doing that. But a rotational left-sided forward that we're not going to be relying on, that takes a high volume of shots, I'm not going to lose my mind over it. I'll sort of semi-sign off on it. It wouldn't be a player I'd buy on Football Manager. Or maybe I would, because he's probably really good on Football Manager, because he's like a young up-and-coming talent. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, so we are playing Man City this weekend. Big old game, bro. Away at the Etihad. Look, obviously they won 6, was it 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, whatever it was against Ipswich last time out in the Prem. A team that we lost 2-0 to. Again, losing my mind is the fact how we had to play them the first game of the season, and then we missed all the fun when everyone was taking points off them at home. We had to lose 2-0 at home because it was Maresca's first game, and it was before they'd descended into chaos, Man City. And then everyone's like, well, now they've found form, and we've had a wobble. It's sod's law. It's, you know, it's just absolutely so frustrating. Kind of true, but of course we did beat Wolves, not massively convincingly. Like, we had better performances and lost games this season. But Man City had a midweek horror show, which can go both ways. Of course, they were 2-0 up. They ended up losing 4-2 to, like, you know, bottle job royalty, which is really bad for them. They'll be emotionally and physically drained. But they'll be at home at the Etihad, and they'll want to rally. And it's the kind of... It can go both ways. You can benefit off that kind of result with them losing, or they're a wounded animal and they're just going to absolutely beat on Chelsea at home, and you know, Haaland's going to score a few goals, and KDB will score a 40-yard free kick, and you know, Charity FC and Chelsea has given them their vibes back. Hopefully not. Let's build a lineup together, shall we? All right, here we go. In goal, it's going to be the guy who's eminently not good enough for us. Rob Sanchez. There he is. I do think Cucurella, who I've had a really bad first half in the Wolves game, but came to life in the second half, of course, scoring a goal. He will play, and I think he gets up for these games. It'll be good. I think Reece James, who's been pictured in training, will start at right back for Chelsea. Probably be managed. Come off at 70 minutes again. Levi Colwill should be fit. Maresca said we'll see and analyse him, but for me, that's he's going to be ready. He pretty much said only Lavia will be defo out, and of course, you know, Fofana and Badiashile. Which means I think Trevoh Chalobah will play on his favoured side of defence, yeah. Yeah, which for me, right, formidable back four, you know, get Colwill at left back, bring in Achiampong, slide them all over, and that's a Chelsea Cobham Academy graduate back four. But that's pretty strong. Who knows, it might be Tosin against his former club, Man City, who would have had more information learnt from Maresca and how he wants to play. But for me, that's how I see us lining up. Caicedo, we're all terrified when he went down, potentially injured, but we need to just play him, especially in the absence of Lavia. Again, it does sound like Enzo Fernandez will be available for this game, who's being left for this game, and he's been in great form, Fernandez, getting into that pocket, passing, amazing passing stats, scoring goals. Even though we're not sure if he's fit or not, try and stop Palmer playing against his former club, Man City. It will be robbing the world of fun and narrative should he not play. Now, of course, Nico Jackson played badly last time out against Wolves, but the game before, we got an assist and didn't score. He played well. Toumi wrote an article about how Jackson's not the problem at Chelsea. He's not a problem. He's a solution in many games, but he's got too much resting on him. I, like many of you, think we just need another striker, but I'm very grateful for Jackson as a player. That's probably how we should look at it. So wingers is tough. I think Neto had a pretty poor game. He plays better on the right. I think Sancho is an absolute given on the left wing. And do we give Neto a chance on the right? I think Noni, because he scored, even though he robbed the goal off Trevoh Chalobah. And then, of course, we'll see substitute appearances from the likes of Neto, Gusto for Reece James. Vega will probably be in Turin at this point. So, Lavia is not available. I don't know. You know, who else could we see off the bench? Joao Felix, probably. Nkunku. I reckon we are keeping Nkunku on ice just in case there's a chance Bayern Munich pay up in the end of this window in the coming days. I don't think we'll risk him, but I think Joao Felix will play. And who knows, if we're winning, having a lovely time, maybe Gu comes on, Tyreek, George, you know, be great. I'm going to do a score prediction. I'm not overly confident. But I do think we'll get some sort of result. I'm going to predict a 2-2 to Chelsea, which will keep us, of course, above Man City in the race for top 4. And in that respect, will be a good result. It has to be. Obviously, we haven't won the Etihad for a long, long time. Many Chelsea fans will be begging for that. I just think it's going to be tough. But I think a 2-2. Obviously, I'd love a win. But I'm going to say 2-2. Let me know what you think. Comment down below your changes to the lineups, your score predictions, response to Garnacho. Do check out the Football Therapy store if you want some merch. And guys, I'll see you back here soon, hopefully. Peace.